Hey y'all, it's your boy Keith coming at you with another edition of Another Angle. And with this edition of Another Angle, everything is Pride. Yay! Happy Pride Month, everybody. Happy Pride Month. Love and accept yourself for who you are, how God created you. And with this episode, I wanted to kind of provide some insight on what pride is all about. I have recently did a post on my Instagram page about how people can misinterpret what pride really is all about. And oftentimes, pride is interrelated. There's two angles of pride. And one angle of pride is the arrogant side, the boastful side. And the other side of pride is not having enough pride and not feeling like you're worthy of love. But the trick is, and just like with confidence in general, is just to balance it out, be right in the middle, not too far to the left. Don't be too prideful and not too far to the right. Don't feel less about who you are. Love and accept yourself. And so that's what pride is about. Within our community, we've had a history of being marginalized as a community. We've been told that the way we are is wrong, that it's a sin, and that God does not love us. But from my understanding, because I also majored in religion, God loves us all. And that was part of the reason why he was persecuted, because he loved everybody. I also wanted to share with you all my coming out story also, to kind of like bring some more insight as to how everybody's story in the community is different. I know, so with me, when I came, I was voluntarily put out. I didn't come out on my own. I was 23 years old, and I remember dating this guy. I was at a restaurant, and my cousin happened to be in the restaurant, and she had came over there with us and had a full conversation with us, like she knew my friend like for years. Like she was talking like she would have known us for years, but she's known me, but she was talking with him also as if she knew him for years. And we didn't pick up that anything was wrong, anything like that. But the next thing the very next day, I get a call. Well, my mom informed me that her mom, my grandmother, had informed her that my cousin had told her that she saw me at this restaurant with this gay-looking guy. So I guess to her, he did not. To her, I guess he was seen more as feminine. I don't think anybody should be judged based on their femininity or their masculinity. So because of her saying something to my grandmother, and then my grandmother ultimately said something to my mom confronts me with it, and everything just continued to go to elevate after that. It got to the point where, of course, my mom, she was really torn up about it. I think because of the stigma with the LGBTQ community and with being gay, there was a stigma with like gay men would catch HIV or AIDS, and that's a history within itself. Because of the community being marginalized, and a lot of times, youth are put out by their parents, when they found that they're gay and they're homeless, and they're forced to kind of defend for themselves. They get involved in promiscuity and all different types of lifestyle. They get involved in drug activity, and when you get in drug activity and using like needles and all that type of thing, that HIV is transmitted through shared uses of needles, and so that's why HIV was so high in the LGBTQ community, because a lot of the youth were disowned by their families. Also, and then there's also some people who are just reckless with their behavior. Just when you have several partners, you're more prone to catch things. This is for heterosexuals or people who are same gender loving. And we all have to be careful with what we do and with what we do sexually with people. So needless to say, my mom, she tried to get me on medication because she thought that the medication would kind of help with my thoughts. But of course, we know that doesn't work. But to be fair with my mom, to be fair to my mother, everything, this was new to her. She wasn't sure what to do, what was going on, how to respond. And she just responded on based on what she her motherly instincts. And I guess this was protect her son. And so that's why she tried to, she tried to get me to get on medication. I even also took medication at one point, which was just for anxiety, but that doesn't really change your thought patterns. We know that now. We know that, those who are LGBTQ, anything in the LGBTQ community, everything is genetics. Environmental influences have a small part on it. It can play a part on it, but it's temporarily. Who you are, that person comes out in the end, regardless of whatever you watch on TV, what type of upbringing you are. If you were sexually abused, that does not impact your sexuality. That's a little bit of my coming out story with me. But yeah, so as time went on, things got better. It was a process though, and this happened when I was age 23 and now I'm 44. So it's been 21 years now. And I feel like every year is like another layer of me coming out, even though I had already been outed at 23. But there's different stages of coming out. You come out to your family, you come out to your friends, you come out to your coworkers. So it's different stages, and it looks different for everybody. Or some people just choose to just be out to their family and not out to their coworkers. But my saying is, what's done in the dark is always brought to the light, and that I feel is why I was exposed, because God was, He didn't want me to live a life in darkness. And so and I think that's what He's calling us to as a nation, to not live a life in darkness, because that's not of God. And we cannot grow and we cannot be prosperous if things are done in the dark and in secret. Okay. All right. Well, look, I don't want to keep y'all too long. That's a little insight on me, and a little education on what pride is truly all about. All right, y'all. But I want you all to love yourself, accept yourself, because God made you amazing. He knew you before you were born. You were fearfully and wonderfully made. Okay? All right, y'all. Happy Pride Month again, and y'all take care. All right. Bye.